Hello, welcome to the Village Drum. I'm your host, Coach Tina Lane. This is the month of December, and you know what's happening in December. We're getting ready to celebrate the holiday. That's right. So Merry Christmas to all who may see this, and a Happy New Year. We look forward to seeing you next year, 2018. Can you believe it? Well, today we have an awesome guest in the studio, and she's going to be talking to us about the Pop Warner football team called the Lindens Tigers, and she is the president. Yes, she is the president of this football team, and her name is Tanisha Hinton. Welcome, Tanisha Hinton.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you for having me here.
Yes, it's a pleasure that you are here. Now, it's so funny as you said, Coach. I'm not a football coach. Everyone, I'm not a football coach, okay? But I am a life coach, motivational speaker, but I used to run track, so people like to joke around and call me coach because if I get on the field, I like to coach people, but it just comes that way. So, Linden Pop Warner, I love the colors going on here. It says president.
Yes.
So, before we get into what you do, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, I'm 39 years old. I'm married. I have 3 biological children, sons, and 1 foster daughter.
Okay. And what city do you reside in, or what state?
Linden.
Oh, well, that makes sense, right?
Yes.
Linden, New Jersey. Okay. And have you always been a resident of Linden?
I've lived there for about 15 years. 15
years. Okay. That's awesome. So when you're not doing football and you're not, out there helping the team, what do you like to do for you in your relaxed time? What are some of your hobbies?
I like to read books.
You like to read books, and what type of books?
Mysteries, urban fiction. I really like women cop dramas.
Woman cop and woman drama. So and I always like to ask people what do they do outside of it, because sometimes we have other passions besides what we have to do on a regular basis, which you're doing being the president of the football team. So what interests you in becoming part of this team before you became president?
About 15 years ago, my oldest son, he started for Tiny Mites. So I got introduced to the program through his, participation. About 6 years ago, I became the team mom for my middle son when he became Tiny Mites, which is 5 to 7 years old.
Okay.
And then I became the secretary, and I've been the president for 3 years.
Wow, that's awesome. So, and your son's been playing for this period of time. And were you approached to become the president? So did you want to become the president? Was it offered to you?
I was approached to be a team mom. You're chosen by the head coach.
Okay.
For that duty. I was chosen by the secretary that was leaving to be her replacement. The president at the time who resigned, I was like next in line. So he asked would I step up, and then I got voted in for a 2-year term.
Oh, excellent. Voted in for 2. So what does the president do?
We do a lot of paperwork. I'm the president, but I function, we were very short-staffed this year, even though we didn't look like it. Okay. So I do more than just the president duties, but most of the president just presides over everybody, make sure the team has their schedule. We attend meetings with our governing body, which is North Jersey, rostering the players, making sure every paperwork is handed in, it's certified, it's an official document, it's a legal document, and overseeing equipment, hand-in, return, purchasing of pretty much everything. So
that is a lot that you do.
And the banquet, which is coming up. So
okay, well, we're going to make sure we talk about that before the show is over. So when you stated everything that you're doing, that you do, and for me, when Mike told me, who's the producer, that you were the president, I said, "Wow, that's awesome." Now, do you get that reaction when someone said, "Oh, she's a female and you're the president of a football team"?
Yes, kind of. I mean, most of the time they think I'm the team mom when I walk up. There is one other in Brick City. There's a woman president that's Newark. She's a president too. So it's just the 2 of us. But yeah, the most common reaction is they think I'm a team mom or just a parent.
Okay. And how do you interact with the parents? Like, what's your role with interacting with them and inspiring them and bringing that unity together?
Well, as I said, because I function in other duties, I'm the first point of contact that any parent meets. I'm at registration.
Okay.
So when you register your child, I'm usually there. Sometimes my vice president or my treasurer is there with me. But for the most part, you get to meet me. So I'm in the school system. I got school age children. So I interact with parents on a daily basis. So, but I'm normally the first person they see when they join our organization.
Okay, so you're the first person they're interacting with, and they're getting to meet you. Now you stated you have a vice president and a treasurer, and I want you to just shout them out while you're being interviewed.
Hi, Nicole. Hi, Lisa. Nicole is my vice president, and Lisa is my treasurer, and my secretary is Anissa. But we do have trustees and coaches. We have a 12-man coaching staff. We don't have women as coaches, but we have women team moms.
Okay, women team moms.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. And just the whole concept. What was of the Pop Warner that's been around for many years? Okay. Mm-hmm. What was their season like this year?
Excellent. Oh, phenomenal. Our Pee Wee football, we made it to the semifinals, the regional. We're North Jersey Division champions for Division 3. Our cheerleaders went to regionals as well, Pee Wee level. And our junior Pee Wees are also North Jersey Division 3, but they went all the way and they lost to Rochester Rams. So it was like 1 or 2 games away from Disney. So it was a great season. Our Tiny Mites played in the championship Gridiron Bowl. Our Mighty Mites played in the Pumpkin Bowl. We had a great season.
Wow.
Across the board.
And now, how long is the season for those of us who don't know?
We start on August 1st. That's the first official day of practice.
Okay.
We go until the end. Like we went to the end of November. But the season can last till the first week of December if you go to the finals in Florida. Okay. And how many, you name different division. How many division is it? 3. Under our North Jersey, it's only 2. Division 2 and Division 3. But there is a Division 1 in other regions. Okay. And under Linden, you said the Tiny Mites and... Mighty Mites, Junior Pee Wees, and Pee Wees. So it's 4. 4 levels. And what are the ages for each level? 5 to 7 is Tiny Mites. 7 to 9 is Mighty Mites. 9 to 11 is Junior Pee Wees. And Pee Wees is 11 to 12. 11 to 12, okay. So before we move on to something else, if an individual wanted to get in contact with you, because I always like to put that out there in the middle of the show, wanted to get in contact with you because they live in the area, how would they get in contact with you if they wanted their child to play football? That's the first question. Second question, do they have to be a Linden resident? Okay, first question, you can call me at 908-718-1820. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram under Linden Tigers Pop Warner. We're on Twitter under Linden Tigers PW. Or just we have a website. It's all under Linden Tigers Pop Warner. Everything is Linden Tigers Pop Warner. Or you can go to our North Jersey website and they connect with our website. Okay. No, you don't have to live in Linden. You can live in anywhere in New Jersey. You're just responsible for getting your child to our practice field, which we currently have 2. And to games. Okay. And your practice fields are located? In Linden. In Linden. Okay. Now, maybe a few months ago, I had the pleasure of interviewing 3 students. I think it was 3, but another person didn't show up, so it was supposed to be 4. And what I loved about it, but they were student athletes of the month. So, I see you smile. Yeah, I remember. So how important is it to instill in the young people that you actually are over the importance of education, not just their athletic ability, but their academic ability? Yes, see, with Pop Warner, education and playing football go hand in hand. Okay. You can't play without a report card. You have to have at least a 70% average or a 2.0 grade average, depending on your school, however they convert it. So, and we check it. We check it after school starts, because we do start when school is not in session. So when school starts, you have to give a progress report if your report card did not look good. And thankfully, some of our coaches actually go into the school system and check up on their children, so to make sure they are doing what they're supposed to do. That's excellent, because you're letting them know, you're teaching them the responsibility. Yes. That's major. And you're looking at their progress. The children, when they're on the field and they're playing football, what can you say about their leadership and their character skills that they are developing as being part of the team, that watching them grow? Well, I've seen them all become friends quickly and take each other under the wing. Not so much on the younger level, but on the older level, it's like, you belong here. Like if they see the player that's not in their right section, they'll tap them like, come here. Like they each one teach one, I guess, on levels. They reach, hey, you should go over here, or why you not listening? Or they, at the end when they're doing a little run through, they all cheer on the last person running. So they're very friendly with each other, and they remain good friends.
their competitive nature, like you said, they're very friendly, and their competitive nature when they're going out and they're playing with other teams. Do you feel as though that exposure is great when you're traveling for young people to go to different areas? Another way they can grow because they're going outside of their settings?
Yes, I believe so. I would think Linden is middle class. So when we go different, they get to see how different people live. Like
right.
We go to upper class levels, lower class. They get to see how different people live, and how different towns, their
right.
ratio of race to each other. So yeah, they get to see a lot when we go different places.
I think, and the reason why I brought it up, because when I used to run track, and one thing was great for me is that when I used to travel, whether you always confined to your city, because that's what you're accustomed to. So whether you lived in Linden, you lived in Union, you lived in Newark, but that's what you were accustomed to. But when you got a football on the team and you're traveling, it just gives you more exposure to other people and see other cities and other people and other cultures, because many times you're just around your environment.
Correct.
So I just watched, I know for me, when I ran track, I just grew, because I'm like, wow, I'm over here and I'm over there and in this city. And then when you get to travel out of state for championships, you just learn so much more, because you want to broaden their horizon now. Like many children are building up their, they always say that your passport, even though you're staying within the states, because you're able to see outside of the town that you live in, you're being exposed to more. So it's very important that you allow children to do that, because unfortunately some areas, they don't even have that. They don't have that anymore, where children are involved in some places where they're not traveling as much.
Yes.
So what you're doing and what they're doing as a team, that's very important. Another element I wanted to talk about as far as coaching and leading the individuals to become more successful. Do you talk to them about their aspiration to move on? When I was talking to the young people about, like, when they were here, like, what do you want to do? Many of them said, I want to be a famous football coach. Do you find that you hear that all the time? Or not famous football coach, famous football player. Yeah, they always say player. Yeah. So do you always find that's like the answer when they start to play football, that's their goal? And do they ever be concerned about, well, what happens if I get injured or anything with that?
I would say 50-50. Some really like the football game and they love it, but some are already on their path. Like the older set, they know you might make it to the NFL, but you get that education, so yeah, I would think half and half. But everybody, they all love football. I mean, our Linden legend is Muhammad Wilkerson. So
okay, who is that?
He's a NFL football player who came from Linden, and he plays for the New York Jets.
Okay.
Yes, he's a defensive player.
Okay, New York Jets. Okay, I'm like, I never heard of him, but is that him over there? No, I'm just joking. We got somebody in the studio. We just having fun. But also, as it relates to that, do you have recruiters that come out to the game for the older individuals, and then they watch them play often?
Well, I would say our program is like
college recruiters. I'm high school recruiters.
Yeah, like middle school. Our program is a feeder program for the middle school, which is 6th to 8th grade.
Okay.
So they are looking at our children who are on that border where they're going into middle school. They'll have like a year or two of play in middle school before they go to high school. So it's, like I said, it's a feeder program. When our team that won one year, the next year they went to the middle school and won the championship. Then that team went somewhere and they won high school. So it's builds on, like, it's a community from one level to another, one program to another. So it is recruited. It might not be actively recruited, but they know that we're going to send our kids there when the time is right. So,
okay.
Yeah, we do have a relationship with them. Like, we go out and talk to them and say, hey, if you got any players or we got any players, we work with each other.
Right, and that's great. Now, what's your relationship with the schools? Because you're getting most of the students that's coming from the schools in Linden. Do the principals work with you, or the vice principals, or do you have teachers that come out to support, even though this is outside of their schools, but they still have most of the students? So do you get support from the schools within Linden?
Yes, we do. One of our big supporters, besides the mayor, is our superintendent. We use our home field is the high school home field. So they allow us to use their facilities and everything that's out there. They allow us to put our long signs asking people to join our program. They allow us